Hello, beautiful artists. Okay, today I have something kind of fun, especially for those of you that like your angle brushes. So much fun. And I'm also going to be using an 8 round. I'll link my brushes below, but you can also use a Princeton. If you're new, please check out these Dagatos. I've been using them for a year. What a great Christmas present for yourself this would be. You get a whole set of 10 for like $15. I've got my Mylang pigments, same as what's in your palette. Let's go ahead and give those a little spritz. I will tell you, I've used the Mylang tubes to just fill up my fun palette here. So I've got all the colors of the rainbow. But I think today let's use our blues and purples. I think that would be pretty. Okay, the only other thing I have you might want to play with, not necessary, is a Q-tip, a good old Q-tip. I've got my 2 containers of water in my Meeden water dish, and I'm going to use that to wash and rinse my brush. All right, are you ready? This is so much fun. We're going to create a little train. It's going to be so easy, you guys. Let's actually go to our reds. Okay, so I'm going to go in for my red here and just mix up a little, about 50-50. See how watery that is? If I tilted my palette, it would move. It's just like a watery tea, lemon water, whatever that is you drink. Tap, tap, tap. And then let's go in and start with our main engine here. So I'm going to create that. Look how easy. So easy, you guys. Like this. I'm just pulling my brush across. Just like that. And then I'm going to go in and create a little kind of like a hat here, I guess. And maybe tap in. If you want to get kind of fancy schmancy, you can tap in with some darker reds. So we've got this so far. Now let's create that wonderful area that I'm going to assume that the engineer sits in, right? There we go. So cute. Tap in a little bit along that edge. Okay, and you could do, I think some of them have this little piece coming out in the front. And now while that is drying, let's go ahead and do our little club cabs, whatever you want to call them, in the back here. So I'm going to do these like on a little angle. Really easy. Lay my brush down, pull it over, and kind of going at an angle here. Look how cute that is. Again, just tapping in with some darker values, just meaning more pigment. And we're going to connect all of these. Let's do another one. Like this. Come out at an angle. There we go. Look how fun that is. And then we're going to fill all these with some fun little presents, maybe a candy cane or 2. Okay. So we've got the main things here. What I want to do is just give this a quick little shot with my heat gun before we add those wheels. Nice and quick. There we go. And now we'll add our little presents in there. So let's do a little box. I think, actually, let's do a tree first. That would be fun. So I've got my 8. And let me show you the Dagato, how well it works. So you get that whole set. This is a 3 Dagato. So it's rather small. Let's create a present in the back here. Let's do a yellow one, or let's do a blue one. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a present sticking out here. Look at that. Just sticking out of the back, and then washing, rinsing my brush, I'm going to grab some of that beautiful green. This is the tree green, maybe with a little lemon green in there. And let's create a little tree. Nothing special here. Maybe it's hanging out. And just using light pressure. See how well that works? And back and forth. And it's just tucked in, kind of hanging out of our little caboose there. And let's do another little present here. So maybe let's make that one, let's make it yellow. And if you're doing this for kids in your life, use their favorite colors. So here we go. Here's another present. So cute. Maybe an orange present here. Sticking out. On its way. We could even do, how about if we do a little, some candy canes? So I'll go into my red. Look at how handy, wasn't that handy? Don't you love handy stuff like this little palette? And I'm going to make one sticking out here. Make sure this is kind of dry, just in case. One here. Maybe just go in and darken in one side, just to look like a little bit of a shadow. And I'll darken one side here, like that. All right, are you ready for those wheels? Let's do some wheels. So I'm gonna go into my black. I don't really keep black on my palette. Even the Prussian blue or Payne's gray I like. I'm gonna mix that a bit, and I'm keeping that just a little bit thicker. Okay, and let's create our cute little wheels here. Like that. Don't get too hung up on perfection here. We're just making it cute and fun. There's our little wheels. You could even put little spokes, little lines in there if you really wanted. You could fill them in. This is yours. Make them how you want. There we go. And maybe we should do, actually grab your angle again, put some black on it, and let's do that little connective piece in there. That is between each of the cards. There you go. All the way across. Just like that. And now I'm going to rinse that black out of my brush. And actually I'll grab my 8 and let's create like as if some steam is coming out. So I'm just wetting this surface so it's just kind of shiny. Get a little bit smaller, and now we'll go into that black, and look how it spreads. Look, isn't that so cute? Oh my gosh, isn't that so cute? It just looks like some smoke and steam coming out of our little engine. There you go. And let's create a window. So I'm gonna go back to my small Degado brush, pick up some of that black, and I'm gonna draw in a little window here. Just a square window. Maybe it looks like a person in there. You could even do this with a marker if you like, or a pen. And let's see, what else do we need to add to this? How about we do a little bell there? You could use your yellow ochre, but I just happen to have my MABs here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that, but feel free to use yellow, black, yellow ochre, and let's create a little bell. There we go. Look how cute. And then with my straight brush, I'm gonna grab a little bit more of that. And again, use what you have. No rules here. And let's add a couple little lines. So just dab them on like that, and maybe this way. Look how fun that is. Just zhuzhing it up a bit, right? And isn't that so cute? We're about done. I think if you want to use a pen, you could always, like I said, you know, draw in your little lines for your wheels, but don't get, you know, don't feel like you have to get too nitpicky here. And then on my presents, you could either use your flat brush or use a marker like me and make a big bow. Oh, what a cute little train. That's wet, so I'm not going to go all the way in there. Isn't that adorable? And then for the bottom, we could definitely go in there with a little bit of that black. And make it look like it's really got some movement there. And I think we're about done. You can always add in all different things if you want little dots. Maybe the tree has some little bulbs on it. Just go into your different colors. I mean, isn't this fun? Isn't this so cute? No stress. And there you go. So I hope you give this a try. Have fun with it. And, you know, just play, create your own version of this. And most of all, have fun. Your kids are going to love these. If you want to make them do this with you, I think they'd really have some fun. You can add in more and more pen and ink like that. All right. Happy painting, everybody, and have fun with your cards. I'll see you soon. I'll be right here reminding you, you are an artist. Happy painting.